Good morning, everyone. An early one this morning, but yesterday I started getting messages and like random tweets at me and other things just saying Pickle Rick. And I was like, Pickle Rick? What does that even mean? Pickle Rick. And then I realized who this guy was. So sorry. Yes. Thank you. Pickle Rick. Hilarious. And when I realized what had happened, it made me laugh a lot. So thank you. I'm a fan of Dan Harmon, but I never really got into Rick and Morty. I was just on the other side of it, and I never picked it up. I heard it was hilarious. I never got it, but I was a big Community fan back before they Brited it.
Troy and Abbott in the morning.
Troy and Abbott. One too many. Okay, so let's get into the actual news. Let's clear that first. Here are the actual slogans from all of the different parties. The NDP doesn't have one. It's pending next week, I heard. But the Liberals is choose forward. The Conservatives is it's time for you to get ahead. The NDP's is the Greens is not left, not right, forward, together. PPC's is strong and free. So I've been reading Win Bigly by Scott Adams. Scott Adams is the guy who did the Dilbert comics. So he's got lots and lots of money, and he likes doing what I do, actually. He likes doing punditry and looking at the politics of things. And apparently he's a trained hypnotist. Anyway, I'm reading Win Bigly, and it's all about persuasion and what Trump did to win the 2016 election. And Mr. Adams thinks that persuasion is it. And part of the book goes through their slogans and how many the Clinton camp tried and how many Trump tried and who wrote Clinton's and who wrote Trump's. And I was actually listening to this yesterday, and Trump wrote his, and his was Make America Great Again, right? And Adams goes through why that's a strong slogan, right? From the letters MAGA to each individual word. Each individual word is strong, but it's so worth the read. And my goodness, I think he's bang on, because I look at this through the lens that he talks about, because he talked about Hillary Clinton's stronger together, which reminds me of choose forward and not left, not right, forward together. It reminds me of both of those. It's kind of stronger together. It's kind of on sand. It's kind of weak and it's like watered down, right? And it's time for you to get ahead. I think it's interesting with regard to the focus being on you, the taxpayer, but these politicians aren't listening to the taxpayer, right? They're not listening to the you in this statement. So it's kind of an empty statement to me. So who knows? I like strong and free. It starts strong. It starts strong and stays strong. And it's simple and short and memorable. So I think probably by the end of this video, strong and free is the only one we're all going to remember. But maybe choose forward will be your memorable one. No, it won't. It's ridiculous. It's terrible. And yeah, there's a lot that is similar about the Liberal and the Green one, and the Conservative one. I think it's a miss. I think they might try some other ones, but check out that Scott Adams book. I highly recommend it. Here is Don Martin tweeting, as painstakingly tracked by colleague Dave Aiken, and that's who we're going to look at. David Aiken, the current pre-election funding blitz is unprecedented. There are 28 announcements today after 370 funding commitments yesterday worth $1.5 billion. And this has been going on for weeks. Hashtag Ottawa Spends. And I wanted to point out, this is the hashtag to look at if you want to look at all of the Ottawa Spends, the list of spending that's going on. These Liberals are spending a lot, and mostly in Ontario, according to the tracking sheets they've got right here. Here's the tracking sheet I was talking about. So the regional total, and I believe this is just for this week. But if you look, I can't move my mouse around. So if you look at the top, it says Ontario, and it's got more than double the second one with regional total and percent of all funding. They've got 65. I'm in Ontario, so 65% of the announcements this week were in Ontario, and that's how much money they spent. $1 billion roughly, and they had 429 million as the second most, right? 24% of the funding. So they are using taxpayer dollars, and they are making all these spending announcements, and you can go through all of the spending announcements. And David Aiken, and he's a global news reporter, and he maintains this hashtag on his Twitter feed, and it's quite the service. It's quite valuable, really, and I recommend you just going through it. There's so much here. I could just focus on doing just videos about the spending that's happening currently. Really, it's unbelievable how much is going on. So he's got the location, who's getting it, like which company or whatever, and the amount, right? And he's tallying it all up. So, I mean, valuable. Thank you, sir. It is incredible. Really, when you look at a body of work like that over the last, since this started, and he's been doing this for a while, it's quite robust, and it's a good record. So, bravo. Thank you. I'm going to move on. Check it out. The hashtag is, and the links to the tweets are in the description. So here is the end of Mr. Bernier's poll, and he says the results with 21,656 votes are in line with those of scientific polls. A majority of Canadians want lower immigration, better integration of immigrants in our society, and a sharper focus on Canada's economic needs. That debate won't go away, and he's responding to his own poll, and I'll show it to you now. This is closed now, so you had 2 days to vote, and I shared it around, and I hope you got to vote. And yeah, he says, a third-party group with no link to the PPC has bought billboards across the country to call for an end to mass immigration. What do you think? And yes to mass immigration got 20%, and no to mass immigration got 80%. And yes, there are a lot of issues with Twitter polls, etc., but this is in line with scientific. This backs up the scientific polls that have been done, saying that a strong majority of Canadians also do not want mass immigration into Canada. And the signs that were removed, the billboards that were put up and then brought down, have sparked a bit of a meme war. I think it's interesting. So here's, this is a billboard, and this is AOC photoshopped into the billboard and probably made smaller. But it says no to the leftist totalitarian mob, the People's Party. And this is a very memeable billboard. I don't know if they intended it to be memeable, but it is very memeable. So here are more billboards coming out. It says, say yes to freedom of speech, say yes to managed immigration, say yes to balanced budget, say yes to personal responsibility. And it says, say yes to lower taxes. And this is one person here, but here's more. Here are other people. Here's say no to climate alarmism. This is Mr. Bernier. And I've highlighted this one as well. Say no to legislation that unfairly targets legal firearm owners. That one's a little bit more mouthy, a bit more words, but I think this billboard tactic and pulling it down maybe backfired, because they've gone to the internet and they've been memed by meme artists and people who are wanting to push this. And as we've seen, there's a strong majority of Canadians who don't want to see what happened in the United Kingdom, in London, in Paris, in Spain, in Germany, to happen here. They don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I'm part of the 80%, proudly. And I think that having the conversation about mass immigration, having the conversation, and this is part of the conversation, a strong majority of people saying, yeah, we don't want it. That's part of the conversation. So it's interesting to watch. It's interesting to watch this all unfold. And this is a short video this morning, short-ish. Yeah, short for me. And I've got a meeting this morning. I'll be at the Lakeside Hope House breakfast. So if you're around Guelph and you want to come and say hi, that's where I'll be for the next 9:30 to 10:30 or so. And I'll be around. I will probably do another video later on today. So thanks for watching. Check out thepeoplespartyofcanada.ca and have a wonderful, wonderful day.